Sable from Stagwell Global, coming to you again from CES 24. And I have to say, man, I've been walking the floor every day, average of about 10 miles. My legs are dead. I'm bringing my shoes back in to get soled. But it has been amazing. I've seen some tremendously amazing things. I've also had the opportunity to share with you some really interesting people that I know and just have so much to say about technology and what's happening. And more importantly, the convergence of what I call connected technology. And we're going to talk all about that. So I am so excited to be able to introduce you to another good FOD, friend of David, Cyler Pennington, who is the Senior Vice President of Marketing for Wynn Las Vegas. And Cyler, you are been my client. More importantly, you're my friend.
Yes.
which is great testimony to the fact that now that you're not a client, you're still a good friend.
That's right.
And
that's right.
Welcome.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for
being
having
here.
me. Appreciate it.
So I want to talk first just a little bit about your background.
Sure. Just in general?
Well, specifically about digital, because you are a true digital marketing pioneer.
Yes.
And I can say that with absolute truth and honesty.
Yeah, sure. So I've been in, so originally actually out of college, I was in the Navy, came out of the Navy and started at
And just
Caesars.
tell us quick, what did you do in the Navy?
I was in intelligence. Yeah. So won't go too much into it beyond that, but
that's where it all started.
That's right. You get to become an expert in PowerPoint decks, just like which translated very well into the marketing community. But so started at Caesars, and always fashioned myself as a creative, but we were in the throes of the Great Recession at the time, and only job I could really get out of that time period was direct marketing and database marketing. And so, kind of had to switch sides of the brain, but I would say it prepared me for the rest of my career because I had to understand programmatic creative effectively a lot earlier than I think a lot of people, if you came up in a traditional, I make a TV spot, brand communications, I had to fashion, hey, how do I create a brand message, but make it personalized? And then how do I distribute that digitally through any number of channels, omni-channel, right? And so I've been doing that my whole career, whether it was in direct marketing, social, worked on agency side for a little bit, and then I've been with Wynn since 2019. So.
And the truth is, just to go back to the direct marketing, I think what people don't understand is that direct marketing and digital go together hand in hand in a way that most people don't think about. Most people think direct marketing is mail. Even to this day, if you use the word direct marketing in a marketing meeting, somebody says, no, we're not talking about mail. No.
Right.
We're talking about digital marketing because that is the ultimate evolution of direct marketing.
Yeah, some of the things you can't do anymore, but to me, direct, obviously most people think direct mail, then email, right, database. But back in the day, for example, like taking advantage of custom audiences in Facebook, like just how do I leverage my first party data in every channel, no matter what the channel? And been doing that a very, very long time. But I think to your point, most people just say, oh, that's email marketing, or in this day and age, or it used to be mail. It's just not the case anymore. And
so let's just talk for a second. I'm going to jump ahead.
Yeah, sure.
We're going to come back to it. AI. The truth is, what you were doing way back then was in fact early AI, if you will.
For sure. I think we all had models. So again, back at Caesars and even at Wynn, we have more complex models. I always like to say that casinos were the OGs in machine learning models, loyalty programs. And so, we've just evolved that over time. But, whether we code players as lucky or unlucky, whether we bring in a bunch of different permutations around, how we build a model to serve someone an offer typically, it's continuing to evolve. But I would say we've been using machine learning in the space for some time.
Forever. So I'm going to go back and I'm going to press one more time just on the DM. Sports betting.
Yes.
Because that was a big piece of what you did.
That's right, yes.
So talk a little bit about that, because it's a huge industry.
Right.
It's obviously an industry very much connected to Vegas in certain ways, and we'll get to that in the next set of questions.
Sure.
But it's also a very global business as well.
Yes. So we launched WynnBet in late 2020 and grew the business pretty significantly. we're turning that down at this point. But sports betting has, I think, democratized gaming in a way. It's made it more acceptable. More and more states are coming online, and it's been a huge. In that world, you're personalizing. It's very local, right? So you want to provide people with opportunities to bet on their team or their favorite player, and so you have to have all that data and be able to action against it to leverage that and drive conversions or first time deposits in that world, right? So had the opportunity.
First time deposits are key.
Yeah, exactly. So and then you move into loyalty programs and month 1, month 2, month 3 offers and however you want to structure that, but. It's a great time, and I think the industry's certainly booming, and we're obviously more focused on our land-based properties now, but certainly took away a ton of learnings that we apply today.
So let's talk about land-based.
Yeah,
we know that here, and I keep turning back, I know, but I keep pointing behind us. We are here at CES.
Yes, that's right.
So a few years ago, everything was the metaverse, everything was going to be VR, but we know, to your point, hotels are the ultimate place where we as human beings walk into an environment, to an experience, to a different world. And I think that the Wynn is probably one of the best examples of service, luxury, experience, immersiveness, certainly here in Vegas. And I'd argue as a huge Wynn fan, because by the way, everybody should know, when I come to Vegas, I stay nowhere else other than the Wynn. I actually at the Encore most of the time, but it is my favorite hotel. But we're going to talk about why, because it is the place where you sort of converge all of those things.
That's right. So to your point, we consider ourselves the premier property, certainly in this destination. We also have a property in Boston.
And Macau.
And then we have 3 in Macau. So
and soon maybe New York?
Well, hopefully. We'll see how that plays out. But we are going to launch the first gaming property in the Middle East. So we will have a property in the UAE in 2027. But back here to Vegas, what's a unique value proposition for us and how we deliver some of that great service is, one, we have operators that really, really care about the craft, and the brand is bought into whether or not you make bread in our bread shop, or whether you make the beds, or whether you do brand marketing. But we also own almost all the outlets that are on our property. And I think that's unique to some of our competitors in the market. And it allows us to not only leverage data, capture it more efficiently, and then action against it. And so we're on that journey now to continue to evolve that program, but really diving into how do we understand you as a customer, what your preferences are. And then for us, it's always at scale. We're the largest 5-star resort in the world. And so we don't just deliver luxury for 200 rooms, right? We do it for 4,700, and so that requires a little bit of a different operating
4,700 rooms that are often all booked.
That's right.
And you're in the hotel, and there are 4,700 rooms booked, and all those people walking around. It's pretty amazing.
That's right. We are almost sold out, and I think post COVID, it's never been busier. I think we used to have peaks and valleys in the business. December used to be a traditionally slow month, for example. Still busy by most hospitality standards, but for us slower. And we just had a huge December. So it's never really stopped post COVID, and we don't see any downturn on the horizon.
So let's go back to something you just said, because I think from a certain point of view, you could think about once you walk in the door, actually even before, because it starts with your reservation. But once you're in the Wynn world, it's almost like you're in the most beautiful, benign matrix, because you're tracking me in a good way as I buy things, as I walk around, as I gamble or not, if I go to a show, if I eat, if I order room service.
Right.
Like, all of that, and you can create for me an incredible experience.
Yeah, and obviously privacy, security is a huge thing for us. We are not all of this is active, right? There's active ways to collect data, there's passive. And so what we're really doing is leveraging the data that you're passively giving us with consent, right? I've made a reservation. We know David made that reservation. We're going to make sure that experience is taken care of, and that on his next go around, hey, maybe we'll recommend something else based on your preferences. But we try and do it in a way that's non-intrusive, but obviously is very secure, and then make sure that anything we're collecting, because there's so much data, right? We sit on a lot of data. Every business sits on, mounds and mounds of it at this point. is finding the signal within the noise, culling it down, and actioning it.
So it's finding that right piece of data. We have a lot of data, most of it's useless, but there are nuggets that are really clearly important.
That's right.
So I'm going to sort of go to a completely different place for a second. It's complete, and I apologize.
No,
I'm completely going off track here.
Sure.
But the McLaren store.
Okay.
You got to tell us, there's actually a store inside the Wynn, a corner, where they sell McLaren cars. Not just McLaren t-shirts and not just McLaren hoodies, McLaren cars.
That's right. So it's technically an experience center. So it's not a dealership. I do want to be careful about that. But I can neither confirm nor deny that there's potentially a lot of people that go in there and maybe walk by a car and purchase that. But
so I will
McLaren
tell you don't have to confirm tonight anything. I'm not asking for official win. I know from McLaren that's probably their single most important sales point, maybe in the world.
It's been a fruitful partnership for us and for them. I think for us the original intent was just to have relevance during F1, right? So we were looking for great partnerships to bring authentic experiences to that community, especially as the ramp up that we had to F1 Las Vegas this past year and ongoing. McLaren.
So just a quick, so everybody knows, F1 came to Vegas this year. It was a huge event. City was sold out. Incredible event. It was amazing. I wasn't here, but I read about it, and heard about it, and spoke to Cyler about it.
It was gangbusters. It was a phenomenal event. We have a great partnership with them. We're a founding partner here locally. And so the collection of people that were in town were definitely like something I've never seen before. Amazing experience. So we partnered with McLaren. They are opening actually a dealership here in Vegas in the future. And so once that dealership opens, we'll see. But until then, it's been a great activity hub, and it sits right at a kind of a key intersection in the property. And so it's funny, we put a lot of cars around property, actually display a lot during F1 and kind of in the run up. And I guess I'm not a huge car guy originally, but so many people take pictures of these cars and are just fascinated with them that it's been great for our business and for my own education, and they're certainly beautiful machines. So
a couple of things. Let's just talk for a second about sports in general.
Sure.
How sports has changed Vegas.
Yes.
So gambling and mob 100 years ago.
Right.
Then sort of, again, gambling, but more adult, then family, then what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas, then family again, and now we're back with this new sports thing,
right?
Which is incredible.
Yeah, it's been a unique journey for me. So I used to work on the agency side, like I mentioned, on our partners, and one of our biggest clients was this convention center, the LVCVA. So we did all the What Happens in Vegas Stays in Vegas campaigns. We did a lot of work with bringing the Raiders to market, actually, at the time. And I distinctly remember in the NFL bylaws, not only could you not buy a commercial, because at the time we wanted to launch that campaign in the Super Bowl. Not only was that not allowed, speaking about gaming, you couldn't even mention Las Vegas, reference Las Vegas, talk about Las Vegas, or display Las Vegas. So it went on a deeper level than that. And so to go from that, and then within 4 years, Roger Goodell standing in the middle of the field being like, we're open for betting, and walking down, driving past Aristocrat billboards with their official NFL slots partnership, the destination's come a long way, and certainly the leagues have been on board with moving forward. I think for them,
and winning teams, by the way, like the NHL. That's crazy.
Yeah. So macro from a sports perspective, Vegas has never been hotter. I feel like we're the epicenter in some ways for sports. We obviously had F1. Our NHL team won the championship, won the Stanley Cup. We've got the Super Bowl coming in a few short months, and we're just one of the only places in the world that can put on, in my opinion, and it's not just Wynn, it's really the whole city, led by our convention center here, these world-class events at scale, and frankly, oftentimes multiple at the same time. And so, we're all really excited. I think it's brought a real good sense of community to the market here for those of us that live here. Having a Stanley Cup championship winning team. Our WNBA team is back-to-back champions.
Right,
so, it really, and there's always rumors of an NBA team coming, hopefully in the future, but it's an exciting time to be a fan here.
And a baseball team definitely coming.
That's right.
That's done.
And so we're fortunate we operate Wynn Field Club in Allegiant Stadium. So it's a nightclub on the field in one of the end zones, and it's just like it sounds. There's table service. There's 2 rows of kind of tiered tables that face the field, and then behind that's a nightclub that turns into the after party for the game. And so we'll have some of our residents actually come there, and the DJ booth controls the whole stadium, right? So I always tell people, coming to a game, whatever sport you're attending in Vegas is a lot different than, at home where your halftime entertainment might be, Awakening or Marshmallow or Diplo or whoever else we program for that event. You get a lot of value for your ticket, and that's always what Vegas has been about, delivering the most value.
So let's come back to the hotel, to the property, because there is a lot of technology built into my experience.
Mm-hmm.
So I come into my room, there's a pad, there's
That's right, DigiValet. That's right. So
we'll talk about that in a second. This is DigiValet. You also have Alexa.
That's right.
I can order my breakfast. I mean, there's all kinds of interesting things. Why don't you just describe how all that technology comes together from my experience?
Sure. So starting in room, Alexa has actually been a partnership we had with Amazon. It was actually pre-me. I believe we were the first hotel to launch, first resort to launch Alexa in rooms at the time. And so we've had a good partnership with them. We've utilized that technology. We're one of the first to market. And so it really is set up to control everything in your room, provide kind of a voice generated concierge, right? So my team helps program that with our operations team on how to give people answers, what kind of questions they're asking. And so we've worked closely with Amazon to facilitate that and make sure for us, anytime we add technology, I should say, at Wynn Las Vegas, right, we're a 5-star property. We take a lot of pride in that. And so it always has to be additive to the guest experience, and it has to be executed in a way that we would be proud of, just like we would, for any of our physical service standards. Digital technology has to be just at the exact same level, right? So we do a lot of testing, work them. Once we felt comfortable, we put it into rooms, and it's been a big success. Last year, we launched DigiValet, which is one of the, I think one of the best instances of in-room technology. And so, you have an iPad that basically allows you to control the TV. And some of it is giving the guests what they want, right? If you're a guest that has Netflix and you want to be able to watch that in your room, you can now do that through our physical interface. So it wasn't just about functional things with controlling the room or ordering room service in a really slick, clean manner. It was also like, hey, we know everyone who's traveling here for business maybe wants to catch up on their latest Netflix show after the trade show, and so we want to enable that. Right?
I have to say, I do love the interface, particularly the television interface. It's really amazing because the box is the station.
That's right.
And so you don't have to go to the guide.
That's right.
It's just so much easier.
All the channels are in there, and it's even from a marketing perspective, we've launched new series and have channels related to those series, whether they're helping to promote our show Awakening, or whether it's we launched a series called The Check-In, where we've been interviewing a lot of celebrities that come in and throughout the property. And so it's kind of evolved to the in-room video. You always used to check in and there would be like one video that plays if you're at a resort. And so
I was pressing through them as well.
We've been able to, we're just starting, but we're on a journey to expand that and create a really good, engaging content ecosystem that again is additive.
And what do you think is next for technology or the use of technology in rooms, or just in my general?
I think not necessarily in rooms. We're working a lot right now on customer experience throughout the resort. So whether that's your ability to more efficiently, call your car or order in a restaurant or just make reservations more cleanly. So a lot of what we're working on right now is just functionally how do we speed things up and not remove any of our great guest experience amenities or service touch points, but try and remove anything that our guests perceive as annoying. Waiting in lines, for example, right? No one likes to wait to check into their room. They want to get in as quickly as possible. In Vegas, they like to talk to a front desk agent often because they want to make sure they get the best deal or the best room, or if they want to upgrade to a suite.
Interesting.
And so some of a lot of what we're working on is not always guest facing as it is much enabling our operators on the front line, talking to those guests with better tools to more efficiently create their job. So that's what we're focused on for 2024, and I think it's going to be a huge success. We, for example, this is a small thing, it's very tactical, but you used to have to activate your casino offer at a rewards desk. And so we've implemented new technology that just auto loads your offer as soon as you walk on the property.
That's
and
cool.
So that's not only helped our guests because they get their offer right away, but it's also helped us with operational bottlenecks that were causing friction at that Wynn rewards desk, and allows those front service employees to now focus on other things versus just these kind of menial tasks of activating an offer.
And you've also done some pretty cool things with AR.
That's right. We've done a lot of, for us, again, we're a physical experience. And to your point, there's a lot of fun things around property. And so we've used AR to add to those experiences. Sometimes they've just been surprise and delight. We have a Lake of Dreams show, for example, and there's a fun set of large 20-foot birds that are part of that.
It's so much fun. I love it.
And then so we
I ate at Lakeside last night.
There you go.
And the people who were with me had never been there, and I made them sit so they could watch it. They were blown away.
Yeah, it's a fan favorite. But we had an AR experience where we took those birds and put them in our atrium, and so you could look around with your phone and they would fly around and do different art pieces.
Cool.
So most of the time when we've augmented the property, it's just been for fun, engaging. We did a few during F1, and just to add to people's experience, a little surprise and delight moment.
Now, you opened a show recently called Awakening.
That's right.
And the show is, outside the fact that it's great and it's something that we worked on together, but the technology in the show is also pretty astounding.
That's right. It was a very large project, huge stage build out. It used to be a show called Le Rev, and so that stage was a water show. And so we got all the water out there, put in a new stage with these huge LED panels. It's completely in the round. It's got a one-of-a-kind stereo system, surround sound. And so, it was a real fun to launch. That was a project we worked on together, and it's a big success for us, and we look forward to continuing to evolving it. But the technology is certainly some of the best in Vegas, and certainly some of the best I've seen in terms of a wow moment. Anytime people go to shows in Vegas, we always want to try and deliver an experience that they can't get at home. And so I think we achieved that with Awakening, and the technology in there is definitely something that's hard to describe, but very, very immersive and a lot of fun. So highly recommend people go check it out.
Amazing, thank you.
Yeah.
So let's go have lunch.
Yeah, let's do it.
So David Sable at CES 24 with my good friend Cyler Pennington, Senior Vice President of Marketing, Wynn Las Vegas, my favorite hotel in Las Vegas. In fact, as far as I'm concerned, my favorite hotel is the only place to stay in Vegas. I think you've heard an incredible story about how technology, place-based, service, luxury all come together in incredible ways, in non-invasive ways, to make real life experiences more immersive, more connected, more memorable. And in my view, that is the ultimate loyalty program.
That's right.
If you just make people feel like that, like hell, of course they're going to come back.
That's right.
You don't need to send them another email or message.
It's just about making people having a great time.
There they are. So Cyler, thank you so much for being here with me.
Thank you.
And signing off.